Welcome to Sumita Roy's English Classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy. Today we have a spoken English basics video on telling the time. Very often on the road when you're walking, somebody might stop you and ask you, "What's the time?" You may look at your smartphone or your watch. You glance at it and then you struggle to put it into English. You know the time. You learned to read the clock maybe in your preschool days. Even before you went to school, you learned. But how to put it into English? You think for a minute or two, the person who has asked you gets tired and asks the next person, "What is the time?" That person tells the time and the conversation is complete. Telling the time is a very important part because human life goes by the clock. We don't have unlimited time. We have to do everything according to time. So, how will you tell the time? You can say, "Now it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon." 1 o'clock. O with apostrophe. That what does it mean? One of the clock. So 1 o'clock, if you say, it comes two times in the day. After midnight it comes, after afternoon it comes. So you say, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Or you can say, it is 1 p.m. You can also say it is 1 p.m. because the afternoon time is PM. P and M small size, both of them small. If it is 12, if you look at the clock, you will find that there are 12 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, 12 marks. So it is 12. Now, when you have 12 o'clock, then you say 12 o'clock noon. Or you can say it is 12 noon, Noon. Then the same 12 again comes in the night. Then you say 12 midnight. 12 noon, which comes just before 1 p.m., and 12 midnight. That is when the time changes. So from there, it becomes AM. From 12 midnight, the time becomes AM. So you suppose you want to say 12:15 AM. 12:15 means 15 minutes are passed. After 12 o'clock, the clock has moved like this and it is 12:15. Now it is AM. After midnight, it is AM. After noon, it is PM. So all the time from noon to midnight is PM. From midnight to noon is AM. That we can say. Or we can mention morning, afternoon, evening. That also we can mention. Night is not used, only morning, afternoon, and evening. Now, suppose you want to say it in a different way. I said 12:15. You can also say quarter past 12. Quarter, you divide the clock into four parts. Four means quarter. So when the time is like this, 12:15. So you have the time, it is quarter past 12. 12:15 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. can be said as it is quarter past 12. That you can say. Depending on when the person is asking, They will know whether it is AM or PM. Now suppose it is 12:30, 30 minutes past 12. The clock is straight, both hands are absolutely straight. Then you say 12:30, 30 minutes are past, because an hour has 60 minutes. So half is 30 and the other half is 30. So we say half past 12. Half past 12. Now suppose you are saying 12:30, you can say 12:30 p.m. But if you're saying it is half past 12, please do not say half past 12 p.m. You just say half past 12. What is the time? Half past 12. Not p.m., not in the morning, in the evening, etc. That cannot be used. You can say 12:15 in the morning or 12:15 after midnight. This also you can say. Or 12:15 in the afternoon. Quarter past 12, when you say, you just say quarter past 12. Don't say quarter past 12 in the afternoon. That is not a usual expression which is used. Also, if you're giving minutes, please do not give o'clock. It is 12 o'clock, it is 1 o'clock, it is 2 o'clock. We don't say it is 12:15 o'clock. We don't say it is half past 12 o'clock. That o'clock form usually we restrict to hours. So when we have the 12, 45 minutes are past, then we don't have another term for it. We go to the next hour. So you can say it is 12:45 p.m. or you can say it is 1:45. Quarter to. Earlier we said quarter past. That means 15 minutes are over. Now you are saying 1:45, the next hour you're going to. So 1:45 means still 15 minutes are left for the clock to show 1 o'clock. So we have to remember that is how time is given. Suppose you have shorter time periods. Then you can say 5 minutes past 12, 10 minutes past 12, or 5 minutes to 1, or 10 minutes to 1. These are shorter times. 20 minutes past 12, or 20 minutes to 1. These don't have terms. The terms are already only there for quarter and half. So it is quarter past if it is 15 minutes, and it is quarter to for the next hour if it is, if you are talking about 45 minutes. That is how the division is done. Now let us try to repeat these for each hour. So I started by telling you it is 1 o'clock. Then you can say it is 5 minutes past 1. Then you can say it is 10 minutes past 1. I'm sure all of you can look at your clock, or the clock is there on your computer screen, or it is there in your phone. If you just click it, you will be able to see what is the time now. So ask yourself, what is the time now? Then you read, it is 12 minutes past 1 o'clock. That is how it is. Then you come to, 1 to 60 minutes, you can count like that. But after the 30 minutes are over, we start saying for the next hour. So if it is 12:35, we say, either we say 12:35 or 35 minutes past 12, or we say 25 to 1. 25 to 1 or 10 to 1 or 5 to 1. 25 is very far away, so we say 12:35. But if you want to talk about the next hour, it can be done. 20 to 1. We need not put it so long. We need not say 20 minutes to 1 o'clock. So much we need not say. If we are in a hurry, if we are using spoken English, because this is a video for spoken English, so we can say 10 to 1. We can say 20 to 1. 22 means still 20 minutes are left. 20 past means 20 minutes are finished. So we come to that. We say quarter past 1 or 15 minutes past 1, or we say 1:15. 1:15 p.m. you can say. 1:15 a.m. you can say. Then you come to 1:20 or 20 minutes past 1. So the clock has moved like this, and you have one finger is like this, the other is like this, and then it is pointing. The smaller one is pointing to 1, the bigger one is pointing to 4. You say it is 1:20. 1:20 requires PM AM. So you have to say 1:20 PM if it is the afternoon. And then you have to also say 20 minutes past 1 o'clock. There no PM is required because you're using 20 minutes past 1 o'clock. To make it clearer, you can say 20 minutes past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, suppose somebody shows you that the small arm is pointing to 3 and the big arm of the clock is pointing to 12. Then what time will you say? This is how time is taught to small children. Now we are only learning it in a different language to be very easy. This looks exactly like 12:15, but the clock arms have reversed. The short arm, which was at 12, and the long arm, which was at 3, has now become reversed. The short arm has come to 3, and the long arm has gone to 12. So this you can say it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon if it is daytime. It is 3 o'clock early morning, because the morning is there early. After 12, we start counting the next day. Unlike in some other cultures, here we say in India that the day begins at 4 o'clock. But according to the language which we are learning, the day begins immediately after midnight. So we can say it is 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. or 3 o'clock in the morning, early morning, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. These we can say. Or we can have both the arms of the clock at 3. The short arm is also at 3, the long arm is also at 3. Then you can say it is 3:15. Now you have to say PM because 3:15, 3:15, and then you have to say PM. So it's 3:15 PM. Or morning time, you have to say it is 3:15 AM. Now, suppose you want to put it differently, then you can say it is 15 minutes past 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock you are using. There you use in the afternoon. It is 15 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Or it is 15 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning. These you can use. You can also say it is 3:15 in the morning, or it is 3:15 in the afternoon. Quarter past means 15 minutes are over. The arm moves now to 30, the long arm. The short arm is near 3, but the long arm has gone to the 30-minute point, and that is where this number 6 is there. If you have a numbered clock, at number 6 it has gone. So now you can say it is 3:30 in the afternoon, or you can say it is 3:30 p.m., or you can say it is 30 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon. These are all the ways in which you can speak. Now, up to late night, we go on saying evening. It is 10 o'clock in the evening. It is 8 o'clock in the evening. We don't generally use the night very often for indicating time unless it is specifically needed, unless that situation needs the mention of time. Usually, time is divided morning, afternoon, evening. Now, we have another way also of telling time, and that is called the 24-hour clock, not our round clock, not our round wrist watches or pendant watches. It is not that kind of a watch which has, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goes to 12. So 12 and 6 are top and bottom. Here you have five numbers, here you have five numbers. You have one long uh, hand and one short hand. That's the usual clock or usual watch. All over your house, you might have such clocks. That is a 12-hour division. But if you go to, railways, many of your smartphones also, if you go to official places, maybe if you are talking in your meeting in your office, then you are using a formal 24-hour clock. You are not using the 12-hour clock. So there, we don't use the word AM or PM. We use the word hours, HOURS, hours. So we say it is 16 hours now. When I say 16 hours, what does it mean? What time is it? So we get a little confused because we might be used to the 12-hour time. So the moment you hear 16 hours, you remove 12 from there, minus 12. It's like small children's mathematics. 16 minus 12. Now what you got is 4. So 16 hours is equal to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Either you can say it is 16 hours now, or you can say it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For the first few hours, 1 to 12 from midnight, we have no change in the number. So you can say it is 5 hours. If you say it is 5 hours, that means it is 5 a.m. or it is 5 o'clock in the morning. What time does the train leave? The train leaves at 5 hours. No need to mention morning because 5 hours implies morning. We don't say 5 a.m. We don't say 5 o'clock in the morning. We say 5 hours. So 1 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Now you must be wondering why we are using S. That is how the 24-hour clock is timed. We don't say 1 hour and 2 hours. We say one also, we say 1 hours, or we say 120 hours, 20 minutes past 1 o'clock. We say 120 hours. So it is not 120, 120. No, it is not. It is 1 o'clock. 20 minutes are over of 1 o'clock. So it is 1:20 a.m. in the morning, and we are saying 120 hours. Similarly, if you have, I gave you the example of 16 hours. So you say 1640 hours or 1645 hours, 1630 hours, 1615 hours. Here we don't say quarter. We do not say 16 and a quarter. That is not there. 16 and a half hours, we don't say. 16, a quarter to 16 hours, we don't say. So that division of quarter and half do not exist in the 24-hour clock. I hope you are able to get that. So whenever you have, suppose you have to leave at 17 hours. So your friend says, let us meet at 16:50. Now what are you saying? 4:50. 10 minutes before 17 hours. If somebody says that we shall meet at 20 hours, they mean 8 o'clock in the evening, or they mean 8 p.m. They are saying 20 hours, because from 20, if you take out 12, you are left with 8. More and more, the 24-hour clock is getting popular, because wherever you see announcements on the road, wherever you see that time indication, they are removing that, uh, you know, the physical round clock, and they are putting a digital clock. A digital clock tells you time in hours. It does not tell you time in the 12-hour clock time. So we don't have the format as 20 o'clock. That phrase does not exist. We don't say 20 p.m. That also does not exist. Either we say 8 p.m. or we say 8 o'clock in the evening, but we never say 20 o'clock. We never say 20 p.m. 20 has to be followed by the hours. So we say, what is the time now? Somebody asks you. Then you need not say 8 p.m. You can say, it is 20 hours. You are following the 24-hour clock, because when you look at your phone, you find that the digital time given in your phone is usually in the 24-hour clock. Some might be there, still some phones are there where they are using the 12-hour clock. But that becomes very confusing if they don't put AM, PM. You change times over time zones you travel, because all over the world it is not the same time. We measure time by a line which passes through Greenwich in England, and we say Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich Mean Time is the measurement of the world's time. So when we count to the west, you have to, say that you have to minus some hours. If you're going to Canada, if you're going to Alaska, you will have to minus so many hours from the Greenwich time. You move east, you have to add to that time. So we are ahead of them. The Western countries are behind them, but the time measurement is always in hours, and the point is Greenwich, which is a place, Greenwich Meridian. So we say Greenwich Mean Time. It is written as Greenwich, pronounced as Greenwich. So we learn the 12-hour clock time. We also learn the 24-hour clock time. And now you start writing them down or revising them in your mind again and again. Suppose I tell you that the clock hand is pointing to 10, the long hand is pointing to 10, and the short hand is pointing to 5. Now you have to tell me the time. So it is 10 to 5. You can say it is 10 minutes to 5. Now you have to also say AM or PM. Then you have to also, put it like this. It is 10 minutes, 10 to 5 PM, or it is 10 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now suppose you want to give it in the 24-hour, then you add 5 plus 12, that is 17. So you say 16:50. 10 minutes to 17 is 16:50. So you cannot say 10 minutes to 17. That format is not there in telling time. So you have to go back to the next earlier hour and then give the number. You know, even up to 59. If you look at your 24-hour watch in your phone now, you will find up to 59, they will say 16:59. Only then the hour changes to 17 hours. So you say 16:59 hours. Or you have the long hand which is pointing to 2 o'clock. That is number 2. Long hand is pointing to 2, and the short hand is pointing to 10. So you say 22:10 hours. 22 because it might be night time. So 22 is 10 o'clock, and 10 is 10 minutes past it because it's at 2. You know, hands are like that. 2. 10 is here, 2 is here. Both the hands are there. Then you can also say 10 minutes past 10 o'clock in the evening, or 10 minutes past 10 p.m. 10:10 p.m. That also you can say. So there are many ways of telling time. That is what I wanted you to know, that if you have a problem in telling time, then remember all this. In spoken English, very often we use quarter to, quarter past, half past. These forms are used very often in speaking, in informal communication, in speaking to friends, or, suddenly if somebody asks you the time, even a stranger, you usually give that kind of a reply. But when it comes to official context, formal context, the hours one is preferred. Many people expect you to know that time in both ways. Just because you know hours, you cannot forget AM, PM. You cannot forget quarter to, quarter past, half past. You should know all of them. That is the beauty of learning a language, that you can say the same thing in many ways. So today I showed you how to tell the time. I did not repeat any sentences like I have been repeating in the earlier videos, because now, after watching 3 videos, I'm sure you are able to follow and practice without my saying the same thing again, because that wastes time. I can tell you something new in the time which is left. Therefore, please replay the video again and again if you have problems in telling the time. Somebody said that you are learning new things, at least 1 or 2 new points in the video. That is great. Some others have written that they are practicing every day. They are practicing along with the video. That makes me very happy, because I'm spending a lot of energy, a lot of effort for all of you. If you get the benefit, and if you feel that you are improving, if your life becomes better because you have learned better English, I will feel very happy. So please practice. Some of you might need only 1 or 2 times practice. Some of you might need 10 or 20 times practice. Don't be disheartened. Those of you who need more practice should feel more excited, because if you know 90% English, you only have to learn 10%. If you know 10% English, it is so wonderful, because you have a chance of learning 90% more. So go ahead, practice, and become good in using the language. So you will now be able to confidently tell time whenever somebody asks you. Please share the video with others. If you have asked time to somebody and they have hesitated, even one moment's hesitation means that you are not able to give the correct time. You know how to read the clock, but you don't know how to express it in English. Therefore, please practice. Thank you and all the best.